man. Watch in my hand, watch what tricks my magical man. Expecting the man, dipping his fast. G, what do you see? Is it yes? What do you see? Hey, G, you see what you see? I'm hard pressed for a reason to come back to my press. Whole session of a season and a lesson of my strength. I'll confess till I'm G. Yeah, no, now we're struggling to fall in line. Yeah, hard pressed for a reason to come back to my press. Whole session of a season and a lesson of my strength. I'll confess till I'm G.
Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Let's go. I appreciate everybody here today tapping in to the TCK Web3 News Roundtable, episode 61. Sorry for the delay. I appreciate everybody's patience. We rocking and rolling. We live at ABC. There was some traffic leading up to, your boy getting up to the building. But we out here. We live on Instagram. We live on YouTube. And yeah, man, we got it popping today, y'all. We got it popping today. I appreciate everybody's patience. Like I said, I'm your boy T.Gold, along with my co-host, NFTia, Just Cheeze. How y'all doing? How y'all doing, man? How was y'all weekend?
Welcome back to another episode, everybody, of the TCK show. My weekend was fabulous, man. I feel like I got my freedom paper, so I don't know how to act right now. Like, man, this feels amazing. But then it's also, there's this uncertainty. But I do well in this climate, so I expect to do nothing but thrive. But there is some hesitation. However, I feel amazing. Being able to resign from my job and full time, I can officially say that I'm full time Web3. So it's major, man, and I feel beyond blessed to be able to say that.
We got to rephrase that. You fired your job.
I fired them.
You fired your job. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it right here. We take control. You know what I mean? And we know because of your efforts in this space, it's gonna pay off.
I appreciate that, man.
I got faith and confidence in you. And support.
What about you, Cheese? How was your weekend?
I told T that she gonna be up if she quit her job, or they told her that if she gonna be here every day, I'm gonna be here every day.
I'm here every day. Every morning I'm son on the bus. I'm at ABC.
I'm gonna come here every day.
It's the new track.
I'm gonna join it every day. Yeah.
It's the new track.
But yeah, this weekend, I was 50-50 work. I had one of my friends was getting remarried, but it was very, very small wedding, like a 10-minute wedding.
Okay.
So it was literally on the belt line. So I was doing some reconnaissance on the belt line. While I was going to the wedding. But aside from that, I got created some flyers. I was preparing for. I'm going to be a vendor at Arts Institute. So Sarah and I went to that art event last week, right?
No doubt.
And while we were in there, I was talking to the owner of the event owner the entire time, part of the time, right? And trying to understand how the vendors come into play, how to, what's the situation. So he gave me information, so I went home and I already started to figure out now how can I make myself into the mix. So now I'm on their next event this weekend for 420. Skylark is going to be an experienced vendor. So the reason why I was telling everybody here last week, the reason why I see value in this is because, doing some of our Web3 ATL and other things that we do here at ABC, there's been a method of like IRL engagement that I've been able to activate, right? So seeing how I can do that in other communities now would be interesting, because now it brings a different lens to the product. Not to mention, I think it's going to be a couple more periods in the future
And then technically we're going to be doing some IRL activation as well. So we got to start shaping up ideas for that type of stuff. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's been grinding.
What about you, T.Gold? How was the weekend, man?
You know, the weekend I was able to do some decompression. You know what I'm saying? So I was glad I was able to do that. Got some work cooked up, and then at the same time, man, I like the fact that Just Cheeze was able to capitalize on the event that we went to last weekend. So we're gonna add in some fly shit in Web3 that y'all may not be ready for, that y'all probably never seen before. But you know, we're gonna keep it Web3 wavy. We're gonna keep it sexy. We're gonna keep it fly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to next weekend. You know what I'm saying? Because next weekend is episode 62, but it's gonna be on 420. And you know, we start our show at 420, pardon the delay today. But yeah, next week is 420. So we're gonna stay in theme with that. You know what I'm saying? So I might be on, you know what I mean, some edibles or something like that, you know, keep some scammers, you know what I mean? Get me right, keep me right that day for the 420. But I'm definitely gonna be pulling up with Just Cheeze next weekend to that event that we locked in with, man. So I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be dope. And you know, we got a request, man. You know, we had something also this weekend that was super lit. We had some ABC members out there in Cali. You know what I'm saying? So we got our guy Aunt Mathis, who is the El Presidente, the president of the Stand with Crypto Georgia chapter, and we got him on stage. So we gotta hear from our guy, man, because I'm sure that that event was fascinating. We got the bar chef. Big up to the bar chef too. I believe he was out there. So yeah, man, we gonna put Aaron up on the stage. I'm gonna request the bar chef to get up on stage. Tell us about your experience. I saw some of the photos on Twitter, so I got the invite sent out. So when they get situated, I want them to jump on stage, man, because Stand with Crypto, you know, big up to Carrie, man. She was doing her thing out there, man. Photos look dope. They had Bored Ape merch out there. What else I saw? Yeah, Bored Ape. Who'd you see, Cheese? I'm trying to remember. I don't know something like that. Yeah, man. So our guy Ed, man. V Friends. Yeah. Oh yeah, V Friends was out there too. V Friends was out there, and it looked like it was a dope event, man. They trying to rival what we got going on out there in Atlanta, man. But you know, I can't lie, man. It's always good to support other people in this space, especially if they locked in with things that we locked in with. You know, we got the Stand with Crypto sign right here, you know, in the background. And
Yeah, I was telling him, man, you know, you gotta step it up, man. I'm just kidding.
Nah, there go the bar chef. What's going on, Marlon?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Actually, I didn't go to California, so it was just Ann that was out there. I think Ann and RC.
Okay.
You know me, man. I'm heads down building. I'm reducing the travel and everything else just to get AI Quan out the door. So I can't wait to hear about it, though. But I know Ann and RC was out there.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So you want to talk about AI Quant? You know, I retweeted something that you posted, and I love the fact that you cooked up something so sophisticated in this space, but AI, you just made it so easy, man, so people can just go off and live their lives and let the AI bot do all the trading, man. That shit is dope. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, I don't want to say too much too early, you know.
Got you. I understand. I respect that.
I mean, you know, it's not a secret anymore. You know, the link is out there, and I've been posting stuff on social media. But yeah, man, in a nutshell, again, I think you know we have to showcase the kind of talent that we have with Web3 that's in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is definitely going to do that. You know, because it's born and raised right in ATL. You know, AI Quant is a Grady baby, man.
Yeah, that's dope. That's a good way to look
That's
at
a
it.
good one.
That's a good way to look at it.
So I'm just putting in, some of my best work to make sure that it hits the market the right way and that it blows up, to reach its full potential, man, to put us on the map, and then make a little paper at the same time. That won't hurt. But the goal really is just to capture the tools that we have at our disposal to make it easier for people, for the average person to trade. Man, I've been digging so deep into this trading game over the past 6 months, and I've been reading all kind of books, and I shared some of the books with you guys as well. But in a nutshell, there's a lot of people who made money from trading on Wall Street, and then there's this one group of individuals that they call quantitative traders, and they're usually mathematicians, PhDs, physicists, like our brother Chris.
That's right.
Who just love looking at data and looking at identifying patterns and models. So these guys came to Wall Street and they've been killing it over the last 40, 50 years, since the 80s. And they created this whole new class of traders that's separate from what we understand Wall Street. So that they're called quants. And they've been toying with earlier versions of AI and so forth. But basically, AI quant is being the new version, the new school of a quant, but making it accessible to everyone. So you don't need to be a mathematician, PhD. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to do all of that for you and understand modeling, understand the technical analysis, knows how to go out there and find the tokens. The same thing people do in the DJ community.
Right.
Now it's basically being eliminated, meaning you're not going to have to sit behind charts and look for the next, meme coin, because AI quant, you just set up an AI quant with your parameters and it'll do it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's official.
So, yeah, that's it in a nutshell, man.
Man, I'm looking forward to the future of AI quant, man, and I'm glad you told us the backstory on what quants were as far as just on Wall Street. So I appreciate that. And yeah, man, much success to you, bro, because I already know, man, people gonna be knocking your door down trying to get one of these AI quants, man, to do all this heavy lifting when it comes to the trading, because you solved a lot of problems just by creating this, and hats off to you, man. Hats off to you, brother. So we appreciate you tapping in and, giving us a lowdown on AI quants. Anybody got any questions?
Sure.
No doubt, no doubt. Anybody got any questions for Mullen?
I don't have any questions, but I've just been spending a lot of time on the actual AI Quant.fund and just really digging in deep, making sure that I have an understanding. So when it's released, I'm on go time, and my portfolio is going to be on go time too. And so I share the same sentiment as everyone else here. Just excited just to have this technology at our fingertips. Be like, first movers advantage is always a special place to be. But first movers advantage was something that has never been built. We won't have this opportunity again. So thank you, Barsha.
That's right. That's right.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Yeah, Barsha, I was telling Marlon about my perspective last weekend about this, and I feel like it's democratizing the data layer that's around this stuff, right? Like you mentioned, the people that are usually, accessible, this is accessible, have tons and tons of data that they need to be able to, trade, and they're in and out of trade so fast, right? Then I'm on the normal market radar, and that's a very niche now opportunity to democratize that and give that to other people. So I on one end I see it as a great thing for us, like Tia said, get access to. And then the other end I see it as a good opportunity for people just to learn.
Right.
learn. That's why I like the academy too, because now you, even if you don't know how to trade, you start trading and watching and learn what's going on. So it's also an educational tool.
That's right.
Yeah, man. I think somebody's gonna at some point this is gonna be the future. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to bring the future.
Oh man, you cut out. You cut out. Marlon, if you can hear us, you did cut out when you said you were trying to bring in the future. So yeah, it looked like you having a bad connection, brother. But we gotta keep you on stage. We definitely gotta keep you on stage. I'm gonna send another invite up. There you go.
Hey, sorry about that.
Nah, you good. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay.
You
Yeah, I was just saying that this is the future, whether we know it or not. You know, so I'm just trying to bring the future to us a little early.
That's right.
That's all.
Yeah, man, you building the future, in the now, man. So it's spectacular to see and be a witness. And like Tia said, man, having first advantage of movement in this space is important. So we appreciate your hard work and dedication and everything that you're cooking up in this space, man. Yes, sir. So if anybody don't have any other questions for Marlon, aka the boss chef, we're gonna roll right into the topics. All right?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. All right, let's talk about what Trump is doing. We always like to set it off with, U.S. political news and crypto regulation. All right. So, President Trump has officially repealed a Biden era IRS rule that would have required DeFi platforms to report user data in crypto transactions, marking a major win for the crypto industry. The rule, originally set to take effect in 2027, faced strong backlash for threatening innovation and user privacy. Signed into law on April 10th, this repeal is the first piece of crypto-focused legislation ever passed in the U.S. All right, so crypto advocates, including Blockchain Association, praised the move, while critics argued the rule was necessary to prevent tax evasion. All right, so man, Trump, he's going down in history for being literally the first pro crypto president, and he's setting, the bar for all the other countries. He got them on notice, man. Whether it's having a Bitcoin reserve or now repealing this IRS rule, that would have had a impact on industry and would have essentially moved innovation across seas. But now, we don't have to worry about our user data being reported, in these crypto transactions, to these DeFi platforms. So I'm glad that he repealed this. And gotta ask my co-host, Tia, Cheeze, what do y'all think about this repeal on this IRS DeFi rule?
I'll go first. So Biden, when they first put this rule out, my whole question when they did all that was, how are you gonna track it?
Mhm.
How are you gonna keep up with it? And how are you gonna actually enforce it? And so, for lack of better words, it was a dumb ass rule anyway. It's like the way we transact over here is not like traditional markets. It's at a faster pace.
Mhm.
It's way more frequent. There's so much more movement going on. It's just a lot harder to keep up with those transactions, and trying to taxes at 40% every time we move a dollar. It's absolutely absurd.
Mhm.
That, to me, whatever you put in from the fiat system and whatever you take out back in the fiat system, that is what needs to be taxed personally, if you're going to impose a tax. However, the rule was stupid anyway. So, secondly, we knew that Trump was going to try to repeal all of Biden's. Well, let me just put it this way: we knew that he was going to take the keys and free the crypto space as much as he could, and take the proverbial handcuffs off of this industry.
That's right.
And that's essentially what he's doing.
That's
So, geez.
Yeah, I agree with Tia. I mean, fundamentally speaking, we're dealing with two different economies here, right? The crypto economy and the fiat currency economy, and all those, like, if you even like oil economy and commodities economy, those are all different type of commodities economies. So we should not be treating them the same.
That's right.
Right? And uh, like what fundamentally works with exchanging hands over the fiat currency won't work for what's exchanging hands over the cryptocurrency, right? To see this point. So I don't really have much other to say than, for the future of this, it's very opportunistic to see this get taken off the table, right? Because now we can actually think about, as an industry, what's the proper way, if any, needed to be, to report on this type of stuff.
And I remember CZ, well, CZ had just recently put out a video when he was speaking about robots and transacting, which we always touch on this, robots, and this is how they will transact in the future. And what does that look like? You taxing, just because this AI or this robot, it has a tie to me, but it's able to make its own moves within this industry. Like when you're looking down the line at what this technology is going to do, not what it's doing right now. You literally cannot compare it to today's financial system. And so, are you going to tax the robots for every transaction? They might be moving money at the speed of light. We don't know how this is going to look, So, I think you have to let it play out a lot more before you try to impose like those type of taxes and systematic handcuffs, if you even can do it, before you even start trying to push that type of legislation forward. So,
Nah, great points, y'all. Great points, y'all. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what other bills, he's gonna integrate, outside of the Bitcoin strategic reserve. But repealing this particular bill, it definitely protects the consumers and encourages innovation. So I was extremely happy to see this. So I thank both my co-hosts for their thoughts and commentary on this. So let's talk about a little bit more crypto regulation. Let's talk about what Ripple is doing, right? So I'm a big fan of Ripple. Actually, this is one of the cryptocurrencies that I was looking into, in like 2017. You know what I'm saying? It was extremely hard to get, but now, this case with the SEC is actually coming to a resolution. All right. So the SEC and Ripple Labs have jointly asked the Court of Appeals to pause their ongoing legal appeals after reaching a preliminary settlement agreement. This comes after the SEC appealed Judge Annalisa Torres in 2024, ruling that Ripple's retail sales weren't securities, and Ripple responded with its own cross appeal. The pause allows time for internal SEC approval, especially from new chair Paul Atkins. All right, so he is super pro crypto. All right, so I think that with this case being on pause and giving them time, to assess everything in this case, Paul Atkins, man, I really feel like he's essentially gonna just have this wrapped up before the summer, and we soon will see Ripple ripping. All right, so right now, can somebody do me a favor and check the price of Ripple? Because at the time of this,
it was like 211.
All right,
last time I looked.
Ripple right now,
211 on the nose, boy.
Is $2.11.
Yeah.
So when all this tariff shit happened,
I saw Ripple
too. I saw Ripple go down to $1.66. I did buy that dip, and I'm glad I did, because right now with this news, especially next week when it hits the mainstream media, Ripple's gonna run up. Ripple's gonna rip. And there's rumor that Brad Garlinghouse, who's Ripple's CEO, he said that they're gonna have an IPO. They're going public. All right, so that's gonna be major, where you can have one of the biggest cryptocurrencies in the biggest blockchains on the stock exchange available for retail investors. That's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait for that. And yeah, man, and they got stablecoin, RLUSD. That is their stablecoin. So yeah, what do you guys think about this case? And we know that they already settled for what was it, $50 million? Because originally Ripple had to pay about $150 million in just legal fees and fines and all of that, and just fighting this case. So now the judge said they only got to pay $50 million. So I'm happy about that, and I got to get my co-host thoughts. Just Cheeze and NFTia. What do y'all guys think about this this appeal that is going to be paused?
$50 million is like a hamburger.
Yes, it's light work to them. Yes, ma'am. It's light work.
It's a hamburger.
Let me get you a hamburger and a beer and call it quits.
Yeah.
No, for real, that's laughable, man. $50 million to Ripple is laughable. What I feel about it is it's right on schedule. Everything is right on schedule. Y'all know my thesis this year has been leading up to regulatory clarity. That's when we're going to see the rockets take off, and that has been my thesis this whole year. And everything is literally right on schedule. That 60 days, I said, in April we'll have a pullback. We got that pullback. I thought it was going to go to 80. It went deep into the 60s. Cheese told me, your thesis was it was going to go into the 70s, upper 70s. He was closer to that. We're talking Bitcoin now, but we're talking price action. I said, right at the beginning of April, we'll start to see those engines revving up, because we're going to be closer to that 180 days before we see regulation come out. Trump promised us 180 days, we'll have some regulatory clarity. So leading up to that regulatory clarity, we'll start to see that price action start to happen.
That's right.
And this is on brand, this is on schedule, this is on par. That 60 days, what's 60 days from now? I think we called it at the beginning of July-ish is when we'll see regulation.
At that time.
60 days is mid-June. Everything is on par. Everything, I don't want to say it's scripted. I don't want to call it a movie. Some people, we can be conspiracy theorists and go down that rabbit hole. However, it looks like they're dancing a waltz here. It looks like everything is programmed and in sync to me, period. So that's my thesis.
That's right. Good take.
Yes, good take. I'm just going to speak generally on, XRP. This is another one on the belt. I feel like overall, the dominoes keep falling towards what T is alluding to, and it's good to see. It's good to see the progression, right? You mentioned they got the stable coins, right, and there's more and more things that are being unlocked on that side that will plug them into becoming what they really want to be. Now, as we all continue to speculate, how the question that we want to ask is, will XRP hit $10?
Price prediction time.
Yeah,
price prediction time. Okay. I like that. Okay.
Ooh,
NFTia, what's your price prediction for 2025 for Ripple?
I don't know 2025. I think it could. I definitely think it almost hit $5 in like 4 weeks. Coming off of the election, So I definitely could see Ripple hitting $10 this year. It just depends what type of utility that they're going to start announcing. We understand it already has a lot of utility. We understand that they're using it on a global scale. So they're actually using it on a global scale. how much of those curtains are going to be pulled back, and how much are we going to be able to see what's actually being done on like the private ledger type stuff, because they have a public ledger and a private ledger. You know, and so I think that's going to kind of dictate bullish sentiment, as well as I don't think this SEC thing in this case has any more legs. Right now, they're beating a dead horse, and I think we already have an understanding whether it's over or not that Ripple has won. Ripple has won.
That's right.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I mean, they're going to keep talking about it till they're blue in the face. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's just better PR for Ripple and XRP. So right now, all this court talk and all of this legal, I don't know, all this legality is just providing more free PR for XRP and Ripple as a brand. And then also, I also do feel like the ETFs being approved, and if they're able to successfully launch an IPO. If all that stuff happens, we see double $10. In my opinion, I think so. So
$10.
double $10.
So what that means?
Absolutely. I ain't trying to be one of them XRP. Listen, I ain't one of them crazy XRP bulls that's like
I'm about to
calling
get hold up. These crazy bull numbers.
I want to throw this out right quick too. The market cap on Ripple is 127 billion. All right, so right now it's at $2.11. If we go to $5, that means it'll be a $250 billion. If we go to $10, right? What
half a trillion.
Half a trillion, 500.
Half a trillion. Billion. That's conservative to me.
It can do it.
That's
Just
conservative.
You got some numbers you want to talk about with Ripple?
Yeah, I got some numbers. Bringing them up right now. Hold on 1 second.
$500 billion in Ripple, especially if we start seeing crazy numbers. Bitcoin's market cap 7-8 trillion. Man, that's light work. Like, that's me being conservative, calling a $20 XRP.
Oh yeah.
Just know that I am 5x long right now. I'm not shy to say it. 5x long, and I survived this last pullback. So baby, let her rip. Let her rip. Let her rip.
All right, so
got $2 in it.
Now you just brought me to the segue, but we're gonna let Just Cheeze talk about these XRP numbers. It's a video.
Yeah.
See, I ain't one of these crazy
bulls. I think because you hooked up to your to the speaker or something.
There you go.
Market cap. The market cap is just the current price multiplied by the total supply of XRP. But here's the key difference. Stocks are valued based on company performance and ownership. XRP is a utility asset that acts as a bridge for global money transfers. Its price isn't limited by market cap, it's influenced by how much money flows through the XRP ledger. Think of XRP like a global payment highway. If trillions of dollars are moving through this highway every day, XRP needs to be worth more to handle that volume efficiently.
Let's go.
If a bank wants to move $1 billion using XRP, it doesn't need $1 billion worth of XRP. Thanks to fast settlement speeds, 3 to 5 seconds, the same XRP can be reused multiple times a day. This is called velocity, how often the same XRP is used within a day. The faster XRP circulates, the less supply is needed to handle large amounts of money. But if global demand grows and XRP's supply is limited, its price must rise to handle that demand.
That's right.
Is $10,000 XRP possible?
Woo!
In theory, yes, but it would require XRP to handle a massive portion of global money flows. Let's break down the numbers. Global daily money flow, Around $7 trillion moves through the world's financial systems each day. If XRP handled just a portion of that, let's say $1 trillion daily, and each XRP is reused 10 times a day, that means the network needs to support $100 billion worth of XRP at any given moment. With XRP's supply of approximately 100 billion coins to cover $100 billion at once, each XRP would need to be worth $1. Now scale that up. If XRP needed to support $10 trillion flowing through the network daily, about 1/7 of global flows, with a velocity of 10, XRP would need to cover $1 trillion at any moment. Divide $1 trillion by 100 billion XRP equals $10,000 per XRP.
Shit. Hold on. That's an extremely that's crazy. That means it'll be worth more than Ethereum. We're gonna have to put Planned Profit up on the stage. We got if you're on this, man, listen, if you're on this, yeah, we got Planned Profit. You know, we got big up to this brother. He just dropped a book, Crypto A to Z. You can pick that up on Amazon. But yo, that's a crazy take. All right, I thought the Ethereum, I thought the Ripple Maxis was talking like $250, $500 per XRP. A $10,000? Yo, I can't even wrap my mind around that right now. You know why? Because I got some Ripple and I can't even imagine if it hit that, y'all. This gonna be a full-fledged news like CNN of crypto for real, man. That's when you're gonna see this shit level up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all like this.
Before
Man.
that.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy for us. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. But yo, we gotta put Planned Profit up on the stage, man. What's your take on that AI's view on the value of XRP potentially being worth $10,000 a coin?
Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. She high. So this AI hallucinating. This AI hallucinating. Yeah, that's crazy.
This is an honest question. My question to y'all is, what makes people so bullish on XRP when there are other platforms and other protocols that check off the ISO 222 box that can also facilitate these same transactions? And why?
That's a great
I
question.
still don't understand why people are so bullish that it has to and is going to be. People are acting like XRP has been given the green light as the only custodian to fulfill these transactions. So that I don't. First of all, I don't get her numbers, and then I know it's deflationary, but I don't see XRP controlling the market when it relates to global remittance or bank processing on a global level. At that high of a level. I don't get it. So my question is, what happens if it isn't XRP? What happens if it's Stellar? What happens if it's Hedera? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Now that's a great
questions in my thoughts.
Now that's a great question. Number one, because you brought up the ISO 222. These are the tokens that, what is it, SWIFT, which is the global messaging system that the banks use to communicate. All right, so this is what he's mentioning. So there are about 7 tokens that the SWIFT messaging system said that they would potentially be using in the future. Ripple is one of them. Stellar is another one. Hedera, Cardano, what
XDC.
XDC, and I think there's about 1 or 2 more. But that's a good point that you bring up, because I feel like, yeah, some of that transactions would go on other chains. So it's not necessarily that, maybe Ripple will dominate as far as most of the transactions out of those 7, because they have a lot of partnerships with different countries right now and different banks and different financial institutions. And obviously Brad Garlinghouse, man, he's buddy with Trump. So they just have a lot of the mind share right now, and that's big in crypto as far as certain coins having the mind share. And Ripple definitely does have that above everything else. And I would say Cardano's out there too. They rocking and rolling. But yeah, that's a great question that you bring up. And I think Tia also want to have some comments on your questions. Go ahead, Tia.
Okay, Playing Profit, how you doing today?
I'm blessed, my sister.
I'm long all of them.
Yeah, that's,
Period. I'm long all of them.
yeah, that's a great take. That's a great take, man. So hey, if you are interested in just some of these tokens, look up ISO 222. Plan Profit. You know, before you step off stage, you gotta promote your book. You definitely gotta promote that. But now that was a great question. Just Cheese. You got any thoughts on what Plan Profit mentioned?
What the AI? Oh, what Plan Profit? Uh, no, I don't think he's wrong. I mean, competition exists. So wherever competition exists, you got to identify why, why one tends to stand out to the front, right? But that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is once some of these, networks or the banks, once they start to play favoritism, it's hard to remove that favorite from the table, right? So, at the end of the day, it's math, right? So it's like if you capture a fraction of the market, what more do you need, right? So if they end up catching the majority of the market share on banking transactions, the number will definitely go up. Now, is it going to be $10,000 per Ripple? I don't know.
I can't see it.
Nah, I don't think it'd be that high either.
But it's Metcalf law in the end.
Yes.
It's Metcalf law at the end of the day. So who's going to win? And I'm betting on all of them. But as some of them start falling off, I'll start scaling into the one that's winning the race. Like we racing one of Bar Chef's horses.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, yo. Great analogy. So yeah, Plan Profit, man, that was a great question. And there's a lot of people who have Ripple, they've been riding with that shit for a long time. And they've been riding with Ripple when it was like 25 cents, 50 cents. And it still remained in the top 10 throughout all of its litigation with the SEC. So I think because of that, and like Just Cheese and NFTia mentioned, man, they have so much, notoriety in this space and so many partnerships, man. Like they got the mind share. So that's part of the marketing and promoting, So, but great question. You want to promote your book? You got to promote your book, bro. Crypto A to Z. It's on Amazon. Speak on it, brother.
First of all, thank y'all for having this space for us to be able to come and have these conversations and dialogue. It's definitely much needed and appreciated. We do have the book out. Versus promoting it, I'll read something real quick because ISO 222 is one of the terms that are covered in Crypto A to Z. It's one of the financial terms. And what it says is the new global standard for sending and receiving payments worldwide, developed by the International Organization for Standardization. It essentially creates one universal language that will be used for communicating payments globally. The new standard went into effect March 2023 and will create a unique opportunity for cross-border payments to be sent and received more efficiently. SWIFT, one of the world's largest payment processors, will be upgrading to ISO 222 as more than half of all global transactions use SWIFT payment systems. The ISO 222 upgrades will also create unique opportunities for digital asset platforms that can comply with the standard. Platforms that are compliant could potentially facilitate all cross-border payments for global financial institutions. So the asset platforms that are compliant are Algorand, Hedera, IOTA, Quant, Stellar, XDC Network, and XRP. All of these projects offer unique use cases by being ISO 222 compliant. The ability of future projects to integrate into traditional financial functions and global financial systems will be a significant indicator of projects that could potentially become more valuable investments over time. And so there are other platforms that are specifically aimed at payments. Stellar is one of them, and their goal is to connect global financial infrastructure, including banks, payment systems, and individuals. Their aim is to be the internet of money. XRP is also a platform designed to facilitate fast, inexpensive cross-border payments for global and financial institutions. And so that term is in the book. And so the goal of the book is to provide a resource for us to have an understanding of these terms to make more informed decisions. And so that was a great segue into that. And yeah, I think there's a lot of marketing to T.Gold's point. There's a lot of marketing and I won't say manipulation, but there's a lot of marketing behind pushing the XRP narrative. And so, to Tia's point, I think it's just keeping yourself open to being flexible and being flexible enough mentally to understand and see different indicators and move accordingly.
That's right.
You feel me? That's what I would say. I'm not an XRP hater, but the way I'm wired, if everybody goes to the left, I'm gonna at least look to the right. And a lot of people are pumping XRP, and my question is more just why. You know what I mean?
No, that's a great point.
It's not going to be the one. It's not going to be the go-to. I hope that it does go higher, and I hope that everybody does, benefit off of it. So my thing is to just do your research, do your due diligence, and be able to make informed decisions when it comes to investing. And so to T.Gold's point, Crypto A to Z is available on Amazon. And so, that along with a lot of other terms are in there. So check it out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all cop that book. We live on IG. We live on YouTube. Obviously, we live on X, Twitter Spaces. And we got to promote our people out here. You know what I'm saying? And you see how we had a great subject we were talking about. And he was able to go to a page in his book and was able to break down what the ISO 222 with that Swift messaging system is. So we appreciate that breakdown. Y'all cop that book. And y'all, if y'all come to ABC, y'all might be able to get an autographed copy of that book too. So big up to our guy Playing Profit. And I see we got Aunt Mathis back up on stage, man. So I'll be remiss if we can't get this brother up on stage to talk about what happened out there in California with the Stand with Crypto event. So Aunt, if you are available, if you are free, please take the stage, brother. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're glad to see, you on our spaces. You back in the A. Well, I think you back in the A, but yo, man, tell us how the trip was, man. Tell us how the event was.
Yeah, I'm back in the A, man. I just got back a couple hours ago, man. I landed back. Got everything done yesterday. And when I got everything done, I did the same thing I did in DC a couple weeks ago. I said, man, I'm going home. I'm not staying at the hotel another night. I went straight to the airport and stayed in the airport till my plane left.
Oh, wow.
And, ready to get back. It was a great weekend. I want to give a shout out to Stand with Crypto, Mason Lanam. I want to give a shout out to Carrie Lynn, Miss Nifty. I want to give a shout out to NFT Fari, Ed Wallet, and all the people who came out from different parts of the country. Mike from Las Vegas, from the Las Vegas Crypto Group. Yeah, man, we really showed up out there, and it was cool just to have, me be out there representing Atlanta Blockchain Center. They love what we're doing. They were talking about what we're doing. They were loving what was going on in California. They're loving what's going on with Stand with Crypto all across the country. We're really mobilizing and galvanizing a strong unit. And let's be proud to know that a lot of that stuff started right with the Atlanta Blockchain Center last year. We've been doing a great job. So we did a scavenger hunt. There was a lot of blockchain, crypto, Web3 companies that offered products. A lot of Bored Ape Yacht Club, BAYC products. We had BAYC water. We had
Oh, man, you cut off, brother. And I don't know what happened, but yeah, if you can, run back your last maybe 10 seconds of what you were discussing. Man, you were talking about Bored Ape Yacht Club merchandise and stuff that they had you doing out there for the scavenger hunt. So,
While we waiting for him to get back on stage, so y'all know I'm in these SUI groups, tough. And one of the leads, she got on there and she sent this and she was like, hey, who's doing this group talking about the scavenger hunt and stuff like that? And it's funny how big the crypto community is, but how small it is at the same time. And I had to let her know, we got people from Atlanta Blockchain Center, that's Carrie, from Stanwood Crypto California, and yada, yada, yada. And so, but,
All right, yeah. We got you back on stage, brother.
go ahead, you got it.
You got it? Yeah, and so what I was saying is there was a lot of blockchain Web3 crypto companies that offered their products and services, part of the scavenger hunt that we were part of. So the event was on Luma. There was a registration. There was an Edge wallet required. And then we walked around downtown San Diego, and we went to 9 different places and did a scavenger hunt and found these blockchains. So we had like Bored Ape Water, Bored Munchies. We had Edge wallet. They were giving out Sui, giving out Bitcoin, giving out A-Chain. I got so much stuff up. Like, my bag is full of stuff to bring back to ABC and share with y'all. I'm looking forward to it. But more importantly, and I'll say this just like with the 404 day, the events are cool, the events are dope. We do a really good job of representing who we are individually, who we are as a group, our startups and our cohorts, ABC, Stand with Crypto. But more importantly, it's the relationships. I'm always talking about people and places. The relationships that we're developing, and I had a chance to sit down with Carrie afterwards, and we were talking about his relationships and his relationships. Forget the paperwork, forget all that stuff. It's relationships.
That's right.
So I'm super excited that we have them on our team. We're going to crisscross the country with Stanford Crypto. I told Mason earlier, I said, don't be surprised to see me in different places. We got to look and see what's going on around. We do dope stuff in Atlanta, but I want to know what other people are doing, and get a little bit of flavor of what's going on so we can bring this thing home. So with that being said, congratulations on Plan Profit on your book. Good to see everybody on this call. Bar Chef, I see you on here. I appreciate you, bro. You were on front of that flyer. They were loving everything we're doing at ABC. They're talking about Marvin Williams and his vision. They're talking about our team. They're recognizing Joe, Just Cheeze. There was another Sui rep out there that asked if I knew Savon, and he was out there representing, so they see the work that he is doing.
Yes, sir.
And we're killing it. So let's just stay the path. Top 10 and 5. We're 3 years into it. We got 2 more years, and we're making some huge progress. So let's just stay the path, y'all, regardless of what's going on in the news or what people are saying. We know we just put our heads down and we keep doing it. And by the time the train leaves the station, it's too late if they aren't on board yet, and that is what it is.
That's right, man. Yo, Ant,
go.
it was good to see you out there pounding the pavement. If you got any photos, if you got any videos, definitely.
Go to Stand with Crypto, the Twitter, and as we were hitting all the scavenger hunt spots, we were taking pictures and posting them to Twitter. So if you go to Twitter, Stand with Crypto, you'll see a lot of pictures. You'll see a lot of the people who tag. You'll follow them too. They're part of our community, and that's what makes us 10 and 5. Not just what we do here in Atlanta, but how we reach out to these other communities around the world. And they're talking about, hey, man, you got to go to Dubai. Marlon has to go here. TCK has to go here. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to stay national and domestic this year. I'll go international next year. But they're like, no.
Yo,
These out there, but focus on your projects, y'all, and make sure they're generating revenue. And don't just rely on tokenomics. We got to focus on revenue-producing products. We know what we're up against.
Right.
We got to be solid.
That's right. Yo, Ant, man, I appreciate all of your hard work and efforts and energy in the space, because I know that, they sent you to DC for the crypto ball. Then they sent you up there before the crypto summit, the first inaugural crypto summit. They sent you out there. Got you out there in California. So I'm sure, man, if they send you international, man, hey, man, gonna have to get some stamps on that passport, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be part of the passport, bros.
Y'all stay tuned for next month is Founders Day. It's gonna be one of the biggest days in DC on Congress, where Stand with Crypto chapters, presidents are gonna come together on DC. There's gonna be a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of founders in DC, May 12th through the 14th, and we're gonna be all through DC. We're gonna be in the White House, we're gonna be in Congress, we're gonna be talking to congressmen, senators, representatives, and we got an agenda. Let's get it.
That's right, yo. Hey, I got just for the hard work that you're doing in this space, man. We definitely appreciate you, bro. And man, we looking forward to the rest of this year, man, because if we set it off like super lit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, Eve Denver, it's so much that we did. Came back, it was a Wicked Wolf event. It's so much, man. Teaching at these schools, we got books being launched, man. we over here cooking, man. So I'm proud of us, man, and the work don't stop. It don't stop. Like you said, we're gonna keep building. So with that being said, yes sir, yes sir. With that being said, we got Blue on stage. Blue, what's going on, Queen? How you doing? Appreciate you tapping in.
Hey, I'm just saying happy Sunday and saying hello to my family. What's up, Ant? What's up, Quinn? What's up, everybody? And I think Ant is very, very right as far as like when it comes to relationships because it's such a small world of how we're all connected. But yeah, we just gotta keep going. I'm just saying what's up.
What's up?
All good, all good. Hey, Blue. Appreciate you tapping in. And oh yeah, quick segue, yo. We was out here lit this past Thursday. Y'all don't know my DJ skills. My DJ skills is kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie, man. I had people two-stepping. You know, we was on our 90s R&B vibe. Man. You know, I got a whole new playlist for this Thursday too. We gonna go to a whole new, you know, section of music that I ain't really touched yet. So, you know, your boy, man, like getting in his DJ bag. So
I'm
that's
just getting
part
on
of it.
punishment, man.
So
I'm just getting on punishment, man.
you know, we was out here having a good time, man. We was out here having a good time. I ain't realized it was damn near 2 o'clock by the time I left ABC. You know what I'm saying? So we was out here vibing, you know? And Cheeze was still trying to work. You know, I'm like, yo, man, at least bob your head, man. Let me know I'm doing a good job out here, man. You know what I mean? So I saw him vibing, man. We had a good time. We two-stepping and everything. So, yeah, y'all, I love the fact that, you know, just being around good people, good energy, good vibes. And so while we're educating ourselves in this space and while we, you know, giving y'all good information in this space, you know, we like to have a good time, you know? So, yo, with that being said, we got another request. Let's see who this request is. We got somebody new. All right, somebody by the name of Tulu. Tulu, what's going on, Tulu? How you doing?
Hezekiah.
Hezekiah, that's the last name. Hezekiah, Tulu Hezekiah. What's going on? Look like they dropped off just as fast. Maybe they got a little nervous to jump up on stage. All right, so boom. We're going to keep it moving, y'all. Our last story that we're going to talk about with Ripple, because this was super, super dope. If y'all notice, earlier this week, like I said, I saw Ripple at 166, but today it's at 211. And part of that is because the New York Stock Exchange has approved the first, I never heard of this company, but it's called T.Gold. I guess I'm saying that right. 2 times long daily XRP ETF. All right, so the ticket is XXRP, the first US ETF tied to XRP, and it launched on April 8th. All right, so it is designed to deliver 2 times the daily performance of XRP using derivatives. Instead of holding the asset, the ETF offers traditional investors exposure to XRP price action without directly owning the token. All right. So while the spot XRP ETF is still pending, analysts view this leverage product as a key step toward broader acceptance, especially following the Ripple's $50 million settlement that we mentioned earlier. So now I got to ask my co-host, NFTia and Just Cheeze, because I know Tia, she likes to deal with leverage trading, you know, so I want to hear her opinion about this first leverage ETF that the New York Stock Exchange has launched. So, NFT and Just Cheeze, what are your thoughts on this? Because we're getting closer and closer to a XRP spot ETF.
These hedge fund DJs are they couldn't keep waiting. They had to create their own products, and I get it, man. I mean, this is the perfect time to be launching and to be positioning yourself, in my opinion, into XRP leverage, especially if you're part of the traditional TriFi sector. And I think it's a great opportunity. I don't see this getting like a ton of volume. If it was a bigger fund, I could see so. But the fact that they have access, I think is pretty dope. I don't see it becoming like a, you know, a BlackRock ETF or anything close, not even a fraction. But it's dope that they have access to leverage in the TriFi sector to XRP. But I mean, this is again, I keep saying it. I sound like a broken record. It's par for the course right now. Like all these financial instruments are coming out for the crypto sector on the trap or the traditional finance side and the Web3 side. I mean, this is what we expected to see. So I'm not shocked. It's good to see it though. And you know that it's going to do nothing more than segue more platforms and crypto products to have their own ETFs, and you're going to start seeing even smaller products have their own ETF. So again, this is what the rollout should look like, and it's going as planned to me.
Great take.
In the words of DJ Khaled, another one.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. That's all I gotta say. Another ETF to line up. And like the Tia said, with DeFi, this is just another way for these instruments going to be created at a faster clip, because you want to, I want direct access to the asset, but there's a lot of people out there that they don't know.
Just want the price action.
Yeah, exactly. So branded ETFs, and they wanted this. They want to. I was telling somebody here like 3 weeks ago, it's like maybe wasn't the best use case, but the there was like the marijuana ETFs, right? They don't really move that much, right? But still, it's a top hot industry, right? But I always feel like you should probably want to invest in the asset itself. But like you said, T.Gold, Tia said it. People just want to invest in the price action of the of the hottest thing at the moment.
Yeah, great points, y'all. And I gotta do a quick segue, because if y'all watching us on YouTube and Instagram, y'all can see that we got some cups out here. We got the Doodles McCafe cups that McDonald's launched in December.
Yeah.
So we still got some of those. That's damn near collector's item. Then Tia got the sweet. She got the sweet tumbler that we got out here. And we got a big up NFT energy drink with the pudgy penguins on the cans, man. So if y'all watching us right here, and y'all lucky we ain't got that crypto A to Z, because that definitely would be on the table. So next time y'all see this episode 62 next week, y'all gonna see those books on the table too, man. So we definitely got big up all of our builders in this space and all of the people, and companies that's doing their thing in this space. So big up the doodles too. So all right, y'all, it's time to talk about the DJ and shit. All right. Now, if y'all watching, we got the hot seat, but it's empty right here. So eventually we gotta get our boy B. He's listening right now. He goes by the name of the Easy Money, Esquire. He's up here, from time to time. But we're gonna talk about some meme coins. All right. Mind you, this meme coin I never invested in, but I've been watching it. So there's other meme coins that I've invested in, especially the AI meme coins. So this was one that I didn't really fuck with. But this coin, Fart Coin, has rallied 300% in a month. All right. During all of the fucking turmoil in March and April, the shit has been fucking ripping. All right. So we know most of the crazy drops in the market was because of Trump and his tariff shit, right? So I just want to break it down to y'all what Fartcoin is. Fartcoin is a Solana-based meme coin that surged nearly 300%, right, in 1 month, outperforming Bitcoin, altcoins, gold, and gold just hit a record high. You know what I'm saying? That's my last name too. Gold just hit a record high, over $3,000 an ounce. And the tech stocks, it outpaced everything. It was launched in October of last year, and it was popularized by the AI-powered Truth Terminal in meme slogans like "Hot Air Rises." All right, so this is some of the things, some of the, I think the effects of social media over the hype of the fundamentals of just meme coins. All right, so it crashed 90% earlier this year, but right now it's staging a major fucking comeback. Wow, so many other meme coins been fucking lagging, but I can't lie. I've been keeping my eye on other AI meme coins since I saw fart coin going crazy. So I saw Virtuals rise, and that was listed on Binance too. That was part of the reason why Virtuals took off. So big up to Virtuals. It was, who else was rising? It was some base AI meme coins. REI. That was rising. Godius Maximus was rising. Some other Solana meme coins like Popcat was running up.
Popcat went crazy.
Mog went crazy. Fog went crazy. That's FWOG. That shit went crazy. Yeah, I've been watching these fucking meme coins, man. So I gotta big up our guy from Endgame Association, Easy Money Esquire, man, for just putting us on to a lot of these meme coins. But they've been staging a comeback over this past week. I've been noticing some of the biggest rallies have been meme coins, but in particular, fart coin. All right, now I'm not a big fan of just certain quirky ass name meme coins, so I stayed away from fart coin. But I can imagine there's probably people will be like, "Yo, I made millions of dollars off of fucking fart coin," and it's like this. I know older investors from the stock market and TradFi people, they don't understand this whole fucking space, let alone meme coins, and why a coin called fart coin would have, at one point, I think it had over $1 billion market cap, which is fucking stupid. But it is what it is. Y'all know how meme coins go. Do your own research, do your homework. It's not financial advice. But I gotta ask my co-hosts, what's your thoughts on fart coin and other, I guess specifically AI generated meme coins? And big up to Lemon Pepper W. Lemon Pepper Wet LPW. That's our governance token for the ABC DAO.
So Marad finally he done woke up from the day. He's so happy that meme coins got a little bit of life because I thought he was going out of business, man. And man, his whole thesis with this whole bull run. I don't really touch meme coins that much either. But I'm happy to see that they are starting to get that volatility back because man, I can't wait for my quant to just start my quant from AI quant.fun when it's released, to be able to capture some of this price action and to be able to make these calls. Because I would never touch a coin that's called fart coin because my logic isn't there. But that's why we're going to have these type of tools readily at our fingertips to make these unbiased, unemotional calls and investments, speculative or not, just off of pure technicals, and it don't have to be about the fundamentals. We here for the gains. Versus me, the technicals, it's hard for me to throw $1 at it because I don't see whether I stake it and get methane or not. Like I don't see the technicals, so I can't see my money going at it. But soon that won't be my issue because I'll have a quant that'll handle that for me.
That's right.
That's my take.
Yeah, you took my commercial route. I was going to do a commercial for AI. Introducing AI Quant. With AI Quant, you can catch me points you don't care anything about. You don't know the names. I got 50x off of that GLB token and that off of that
unicorn fart.
With 50% gains immediately, you can trade without even caring about any of your tokens, right? AI Quant. Introducing AI. I was gonna do a commercial.
Yeah, that was a good one. You know, I'm gonna clip that up. I'm gonna clip that up. I'm gonna clip that up, G. Word it up. Send that to the bar chef. Get that going.
But anyway, that aside from that angle, it's just it's funny. I think there was an article I read that Farcoin was tied to Mark Cuban.
Really?
Yeah.
I can believe it
That was surprising.
at all.
But yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
Yo, shout out to AI Quant, man. Shout out to AI Quant, yo. Word up in the bar chef.
Quant did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that.
You heard? Yeah. You know, Tia with the hip hop analogy, I like that. You know, off of the whole shit. I like that. You heard? So yo, we gonna roll right into some more DJing shit, right? And I personally think this next story has something to do with taxes. All right. So, tax deadline is in 2 days, April 15th. So let's talk about this guy, this Pennsylvania man convicted for omitting more than $13 million in NFT sales. All right. So this guy named Waylon Wilcox, a 45-year-old man from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, pleaded guilty to filing false tax returns for 2021 and 2022 after failing to report millions earned from selling 97 CryptoPunks. Now this was a whale. This was a fucking whale. If you had 97 CryptoPunks, that means you was in this space super early. So despite profiting from these NFTs, each with a unique blockchain verified ownership, Wilcox falsely indicated on both tax returns that he hadn't dealt with digital assets. His failure to disclose the NFT sales resulted in unreported income and about $3 million in unpaid taxes. He entered his guilty plea on April 9th, so the sentencing will be coming up soon. Fuck around, he might just get probation because this is not like a real crazy crime, and I can imagine having 97 damn CryptoPunks. He sold 97. I'm sure he probably still got some more in the tuck, so he probably sitting on some good amount of CryptoPunks that he can sell off to pay off this fine. But I thought this was an interesting story that with these CryptoPunks, man, still being the OG NFT project, holding a lot of the actual value of the NFT marketplace, because I think the cheapest CryptoPunk is still 6 figures, for a basic one. So we're going to talk about a segue into the same story with some more CryptoPunk news, but I definitely want to hear about, my co-host thoughts on this guy not really reporting. Like, I'm gonna pose this a different way. If y'all had 97 sales from CryptoPunks, I'm sure y'all would report it on y'all taxes, correct? Would y'all do that or no? Would y'all try to just be like, nah, fuck it, I ain't reporting this shit? Like, what's your take on this? How would y'all handle
$97, I'd probably like, man, F them. But 97 million, come on now. You ain't gonna hide that. You can't hide that well activity. Yeah, I gotta report that. I mean, you gotta report that. I mean, you can't hide that kind of money on chain, off chain. Whether you're using what's it called? What's the privacy? Monero, for any other one. I think they got one called like Secret Swap now. Like you still not, whether you're using a ZK technology, you're not hiding that kind of money on chain. And that those transactions are visible, especially with you being on Ethereum. So, somebody need to mute. Yeah, you can't hide that kind of money on chain, man. So he was asking for it. But I'm pretty sure he can handle these legal fees. If you done sold 97 punks, you got the dollars to handle these legal fees.
Oh yeah.
Take that slap on the wrist, but he probably like, I'll get a blue collar slap on the wrist and keep it moving. And sometimes people look at it like that. I mean, and so who's to say that this wasn't his plan all along? So
True.
He might have CJ the Smart Guy in his back pocket.
Y'all can keep taking my commercials. do another commercial for CJ the Smart Guy. Introducing CJ the Smart Guy. You know, if you're struggling with your crypto taxes this season, reach out to your friendly crypto tax wizard, CJ Smart Guy, to help you with situations like this.
Yo, Just Cheeze. Yo, Just Cheeze.
I'm gonna keep plugging. You keep doing the commercials.
Yo, Just Cheeze is on this commercial tip for real, man. You know, listen, man. The same way. Listen, we got to big up to $1 million worth of game. You know, there's some Philly guys. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they getting checks for sponsorships. You know what I'm saying? We doing free promos here. You know, we bigging up the people who built shit in ABC. You know what I'm saying? And we bigging up companies that ain't been launched in ABC. You know what I'm saying? Like CJ the Smart Guy, he's been through these doors. He came through and gave us game and told us, you know, hey, if y'all need y'all crypto taxes done, you know, hit me up. So we definitely got to big up that brother, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, yo, tax deadline is in 2 days. Make sure y'all do what y'all got to do. If y'all haven't done it already, file an extension and stay off the IRS radar. What y'all think blew him up? You think he probably had a Lambo and pulled up to pay his fucking taxes at fucking
Now you were paying them taxes.
Turbo Tax? He wasn't paying them. He didn't report it. So he probably had DJing on his fucking license plate and somebody's like, wait, hold up, man. You know what I'm saying? He doing too much.
I got a question.
Yeah, brother.
I want to understand, just to make sure I'm clear. The IRS got on him. Did he sell them? Y'all said he sold them, right?
Yes, but he didn't report it. So I don't know how, but they went on chain and it looked like they saw that he sold these punks and he made millions of dollars. It's kind of hard to hide millions of dollars.
Did he sell it and cash out to physical cash? Did the end transaction result in physical cash that went into his pocket?
It don't say.
It don't say in the article, but I'm pretty sure, you know, if you sold 97 crypto punks, you're going to spend some of that paper, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure.
If you keep it, if you sell them or trade them, if you trade them into a stable coin, is that the same as selling them and ultimately redeeming the cash? Is what I would want to know more about.
Once you sell it,
yeah, that was just about to say that would be a question for CJ, the Smart Guy.
Because technically, you're not selling it if you trade it for a stable coin. You're exchanging it from one crypto to another.
True.
Or you're exchanging it from one crypto to a token.
Now, if you have a stable coin and that stable coin is tied to a credit card, I mean, I can spend that stable coin on my crypto.com or Coinbase wallet. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was, you know, even if he did transfer to a stable coin, I'm pretty sure at the end result was him buying a home or a car or some type of bigger purchase that led to the eyebrows being raised.
Okay, because I think if you keep it in the realm of crypto or digital assets, that would just be my question. If you are able to do that and keep it in the realm of digital assets, whether it's a stable coin, whether it's Bitcoin, that would just be my question. And again, that's a great plug and segue for CJ, the Smart Guy, because that would be my question. How does the IRS get involved if it never actually turns into physical cash?
And so that was the very first that was the very first story that we spoke about earlier. I don't know if you were on the call yet, but it was basically Trump overturned Biden's law, Biden's DeFi law, whatever, because every transaction on the blockchain was subject to an extremely high
scrutiny.
Transaction fee, right? But how do you track every transaction that I did on chain? You know, so and Trump overturned it because it's like, how can you really tax? We move so much money so frequently. How can you really tax every transaction that we're doing justly? And so I think that was the conversation that we had, the very first story that we talked about. But it's an awesome segue into this one as well, because again, like, and I think once it goes, and my thing that I said, once it goes from fiat on chain back to fiat, that is what you tax. But even then, it's still hard to tax that. So I don't know. We'll see how what they come up with. But I know that this system that they have right now, it needed to be overturned. So I'm happy Trump did overturn it.
Great take, great question. Plan Profit, we appreciate your thoughts and question, brother. Yeah, man. So that was a legit question, and we definitely gonna keep our eye on this situation, see how much time this guy gets, and we're gonna pose some of the same questions to CJ, the smart guy, to actually get down to the nuts and bolts of NFT transactions, all right, and what is a taxable uh, offense. So the last story is still pertaining to CryptoPunk. So we gotta stay in this NFT DJ shit. So, and I also think what this guy did was for taxes. But an NFT trader who bought a CryptoPunk number 3100, all right, he bought it for about 4,500 ETH, about $15.8 million back in March 2024. That same guy who spent 15, almost 16 M's on this CryptoPunk, he sold it for about 4,000 ETH. All right. So we know ETH went down in value. So that's the equivalent of about $6 million. All right. So that's nearly a $10 million loss due to Ethereum's price drop. So despite only a 500 ETH difference, the loss is mainly driven by ETH's fall from 3,500 to about $1,500. So that was once the second highest CryptoPunk sale ever. All right. So this transaction now underscores the speculative and volatile nature of NFT investments, especially as the market cools and many traders face steep losses. And I'm one of those because I know I definitely had about a good probably 30 grand in just NFTs, and I just held on to them for too long. I should have sold some of the bitches. Now, some of them still held their value, but yeah, that shit definitely ain't worth 30 bands. But, it's a learning lesson. And, but to see this guy sell at a loss, at a $10 million loss, I think he probably did this for tax purposes. Now, this is another question that I would pose to CJ, the smart guy, to see why somebody who's an NFT trader who spent, almost $16 million last year. So it kind of makes sense that he's probably just going to just walk away with this loss and be able to write that off. So I'm assuming that's why he did it. But I just thought that was an interesting play. So I got to ask my co-host, being that this is another CryptoPunk article that we are discussing, what's your overall thoughts on this particular transaction? This guy selling at a loss. And what's your thoughts on CryptoPunks?
Do y'all remember maybe a few months ago, it was a CryptoPunk transaction that sold for it was astronomical.
It was almost like the alien. That was the rarest one. I believe it was almost about like 20 mil or 24 million. Yeah, that was like it was two of the highest CryptoPunk sales were a couple months ago. And yes, that was the one you referred to.
And that wallet was associated with another wallet that was linked to. It was almost like he sold it to himself just for clout. Almost it is what it appeared on chain, something like that, right?
It was kind of questionable. Yeah,
it was questionable.
Yes.
I would wonder. I'm wondering if this is that same type of situation, but he can show that hey, it's it's sold. I sold it. I took a loss. But is the wallet attached to him at any point? I'm just saying. I'm not a scammer. I am in Atlanta, but if I had a lot of taxes that I needed to offset, and I see that my CryptoPunk is absolutely going down in value, could I make an anonymous transaction to myself, sell that CryptoPunk? I lost 10 M's to myself. If Elon Musk can sell X to himself, I'm thinking I may be able to take a loss and sell a CryptoPunk to myself. Write that off. Again, CJ, get in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Would that work Yes or no?
I'm not gonna do the commercial again. But yeah, I mean, from a tax perspective, there's many loopholes that we already see in fiat world. So from the DeFi crypto world, we're gonna see those loopholes take place, and like Tia said, maybe this is one of those, right? So I don't really have much time in here, but yeah, let's uh, let's see how it plays out for the long run.
All right, y'all. Yeah, man. I just think that if you're in the space, definitely make sure you contact CJ the Smart Guy if you want to get your crypto taxes done. If you got any questions about any, taxes and crypto transactions, NFT transactions, hit up CJ the Smart Guy. Go to his Instagram, go to his Twitter, and he's also somebody that's locked in with Dr. Jamar Montgomery. They have a podcast called The Smart Guy and the Genius. So tap into that. And we got Blue. Blue, you got your hand up, Queen. What's going on? What's your thoughts on this?
No, there's definitely some plays behind the scenes. Let's just keep that one down. I just wanted to give people another play. So if you have a group of people and you say you gotta be like a nonprofit or you're doing this for charity,
Exactly.
but donations in crypto are tax free. Let's keep that 1,000. So if I wanted to say I wanted to start like a nonprofit or for charity, we're gonna come together so we can all buy T.Gold radio station. He can write that no taxes on it. So there's a lot of different ways because there's a lot of companies out there that are air quote like charity companies in the crypto space that say they're here to help people, but there's like a reason for that. So if you want to do something like that, you can be tax free as well.
So the regen play that we seen at East Denver. Let me not speculate. So are they saving trees in the Amazon or not?
Avalanche has an L1 dedicated to saving polar bears. I believe in mission. We're gonna start a nonprofit to saving bees.
Okay.
That's legit.
We're gonna save lightning bugs.
That's legit fair. Bees are the transporters of life for flowers. They make the trees grow. And more every year, we are seeing less bees. So, in an attempt to rejuvenate the bee culture, I am announcing today that I'd like to start a bee fund.
I like that.
A-B fund. ABC fund. B with the B.
Go to the bees.
A Bumblebee C fund.
Yo, that's funny, yo. That's funny, yo. Yo, Just Cheeze was on his marketing and advertising shit today. That shit was funny. Straight up. So yeah, y'all. Man, it's been another great episode, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we do, man. This episode 61. I got to thank all of my speakers who stepped up on stage today. We got to big up our guy, Ant Mathis, president, Stand With Crypto Georgia chapter. We got to big up our guy, Plan Profit, for that book, man. Crypto A to Z, pick that up on Amazon. You heard? And we got to big up the bar chef, talking about that AI quants and giving us the history on quants. Thought that was dope. Tap into that. And we got to big up Blue. Blue for her commentary, on her thoughts in this space, and everybody listening, man. Whether you are watching us on Instagram, you watching us on YouTube, or you listening to us on Twitter Spaces, y'all, we greatly appreciate your time, your thoughts, And you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. You know how we do, man. We stay Web3 wavy. Speaking of Web3 wavy, I got my phone case cover that should be arriving sometime tomorrow, man. So I'm happy about that. So if you're watching us live, you can see I got my iPad case covered with the Web3 DJs, terminologies on here, man. Keeping it Web3 wavy and fly, funky, and sexy, man. So look out for any events that we're gonna be participating in next week because Just Cheeze. You want to big up Smack? Oh, big up to Smack, the lady who got the rolling papers who came to ABC. I know Just Cheeze posted something about that. You want to talk about that right quick? Because, next week is 420. So, yeah, you might want to promote that right quick. You heard?
Yeah. So we started the top of the show with this. I'm gonna end it with the show with this as well. Again, T.Gold and I were out at an art event last weekend, right? And I had already started putting together the plans for what does an activation, style like activations look like in real life, right? Like at the end of the day, it's not just the cool thing about Web3 dynamics inside of the Web2 ecosystem is that um, they have these logics that have been applied in Web3 have allowed for some of the hardest adoptable platforms, right, to become relatable, right? So Quest platforms have made it interesting to go visit some of these platforms. The problem with Quest platforms, however, is that there was no true, really journey created. It was just a simple farming uh, practice for some of these platforms, right? Mm-hmm. So my goal is the difference be there is to really tap in, help brands tap into the storytelling aspect more, right? And utilizing that storytelling to then create journeys that have a longer extension period to then reach that activation, that monetization moment where you can really then tap in with your real fans, right? Or the people that are true to the cause. So part of that, the journey also creates monetization opportunities along the way, right? You see what happens when people play Fortnite, when you have all these uh, monetization opportunities, right? So the point is truly to monetize the ecosystem. That way, there's always an opportunity to sell, right? So taking that idea and then bringing it to real life. I'm working on some things right now where I was talking to Mac, the CEO of Smack, right? Initially, we had worked on, I had built, real quick, I built out an agent for her like one night. And you just put in her weed phrase, and that creates your own personal agent, right? So that was one idea that I came up with. But overall, I want this to be a uh, first attempt for me to partner with brands, right? I mentioned this last week, right? Where we could, we talked about what we can potentially be putting on soon, right? More to come on that.
That's right.
But when you have these opportunities to add an additional layer of engagement off to the side through giveaways and awards, it just adds more dimension to the event, right? So that's the intent. I want to go to that event, right? So the way the event's gonna run, it's about it's about 5 hours, right?
5 hours.
Yeah, it's 5 hours, and it's different things like this. It's transitions, like it's gonna go from Howard and Kumar goes to uh, uh, White Castle, but they're not going to White Castle. Howard and Kumar right, is going to be one part. Is going one part of the exhibit, not my exhibit, but this is the show. I'm talking about the show. Mm-hmm. Part of it's going to be Howard and Kumar, and doing the Howard and Kumar is going to be Howard and Kumar themed things, right? And then there's going to be a photography exhibit, and then there's going to be um, some other ones that I don't remember off the top of my head. But all of these different exhibits are going to be going on for 5 hours. So my goal is to just pick elements from each of them, right? To activate. So if what's your favorite Harold Kumar movie, right? Are you Harold or are you Kumar, right? Mm-hmm. These are data collection points, right? That if you do enough engagement around, you start to farm data out of, and then you can really identify who's who in your community, right? And then if you're a brand like Smacked, who's partnering with the data collector like Skylark, you can then utilize this information to say, hey, the most popular character of the night was Harold. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna come out with a Harold XYZ, right? To help my brand. It's XYZ, and here everybody who voted Harold, here's 10% off that. So that's how I see this type of stuff playing out into the future anyway. And that's why Skylark is part of that journey for me.
No. So y'all gonna be high for 5 hours doing stuff?
Yo, that's funny. Lord. Yo, that's funny. Nah, we're gonna be out there doing our thing. Like I said, man, I'm gonna indulge, I'm gonna partake, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna do my thug thizzle. You know what I'm saying? Getting right off of some skidamas. You heard? So yo, I'm gonna tell y'all like this, man. Enjoy yourselves, be safe, because 420, you just wanna be on point no matter what. And usually when you go to 420 events, everybody's real cool and laid back. I've been to a few 420 events, so they were pretty dope. So I'm curious to see what Just Cheeze is gonna cook up as far as from the gamification Web3 aspect of it at this event. So that's gonna be super, super, super lit, y'all. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tapping in. All my listeners on Twitter. Again, got to big up the Bar Chef, got to big up Plan Profit, got to big up our guy Aunt Mathis, got to big up Blue, everybody who stepped up on stage today, everybody tapping in, listening. I got Tone, got to big up B Wise, got to big up, the wonderful Crypto, our guy Elijah, Easy Money Esquire, and got a big up platform, Skylark, got a big up the recoding, got a big up TCK, and I Get Busy. You heard? So if you want to get any kind of Web3 wavy gear, get your hats, get your tees, your ABC shirts, you know what I mean? Your sweaters, because I got some new shirts being cooked up. And yeah, man, tap into the website, man, thecryptocrew.com for your latest news. So with that being said, I'm your host, T.Gold. This is episode 61. NFTia, Just Cheeze, y'all want to say, the last words?
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We out.
No, I'm all good. Make sure you come out next week. Come out next week, Saturday, and indulge. And if you're not in the Atlanta area, thank you for tuning in regardless.
Yes, sir. So, we're going to go out with somebody who I feel like is very, very well respected and highly regarded in our culture and well respected in the Web3 crypto space. He's one of the first people in the culture tapped into crypto. He's a big, cannabis user. He got that marathon bud popping out there in LA. And of course, we talking about, God bless the dead, Nipsey Hussle. So we gonna go out with a little, grinding on my life. You heard? So big up to Nipsey. Big up to everybody listening. Big up to everybody on the West Coast. I know Ant was out there in the West Coast, so that's another reason why I want to end off the series with this. You heard? It's your boy T.Gold. I'm out. Peace.
Hey.
Let's go.
Peace out.
Grinding on my way, sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. One slice, Got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life, all my life, been grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle, pay the price, one slice. Got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life, I'm married to this guy, that's why I made my wife. Said I got alone, I told that bitch she probably right. One day that's the show, not a stranger to this life. Gotta save this for the Franklin and a shoulder full of stripes. Don't know a nigga like myself. I say self-made, meaning I design myself. County jail fame, people for my bad yourself. Spot rain, swallow rocks, I'm getting high myself. Nah, damn right, I like the life I live. I'm from West Side 60, shit, I might got killed. Standing so tall, I think I might got stills. Legendary baller like Mike, like Will. 96 Impala, thug like four wheels. Up against the wall, squabble at 5 tails. Like a motherfucking boss, ask me how I feel. Successful street nigga touching them first meals. Whoa, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. One slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. One slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. I got everything I said I was gonna get on my kid. In addition to that fact, I went legit. I'm a shit now, according to the way that I'm positioned. These bids, it look like I'm just gonna keep on getting rich. Know the West Side RSC's the size. LAPD on my dick, I'ma squeeze the bucks. If a rap nigga did switch cheese and fucks, all this rap money, nigga, look, I need too much. Money, loyalty, and love in the dream. You switching up the players on your team too much. Tell me, copy, that's my love, young Supreme, what's up? And we travel around the world getting cream or what? Ain't you get off over there, brothers who sing the brush? Las Vegas, strip pop, getting cream and flows. After all that looking tough, all these single stuff. 50 Cent and Mayweather flee to sing with us. True story. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. One slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. One slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life.